Welcome to the Golden Valley Light Railway video platform. This is a stockbook series video. Baguley Drewry 3703, Type EB, NG24. You join us getting NG24 ready for service. First you have to disconnect the battery charger, after turning it off. To remove the big heavy cable, you have to loosen the keep plate that holds it firmly connected, whilst pulling the connector out. Then when it's out enough, the keep plate can be rotated and the connector taken away. You can see the battery terminals up inside the connector. Now you have to join the cable from the control box to the batteries. You have to push the control box connector cable into the socket and then rotate the keep plate. Then you tighten it down, whilst gradually pushing the connector into the socket until it is nice and tight. That'll do. Check the brake. Climb in. Release the brake. Turn on the batteries and sound the horn. Step on the dead man's pedal, a bit of throttle, and away we go. Pass the charger and its big fat cable. Throttle down, apply the brake and turn off the battery. Job done. Now it's outside, let's take a look around NG24. NG24 was built in 1974 by the Baguley Drewry Company in Burton-upon-Trent in the United Kingdom. A Type EB battery electric locomotive of 50 horsepower with a works number of 3703, it was part of a build run of just 3 locomotives to meet a specific requirement for the MOD. All 3 locos were for the then secret underground munitions depot at RAF Chilmark in Wiltshire. All 3 locos worked at the depot until 1995, when it was shut down with the end of the Cold War era. NG24 came to the GVLR. NG23 can be found at the Leighton Buzzard Railway, and NG25 went to Gloucestershire but is now at the South Tyndale Railway. Let's take a closer look. You can see where the axle boxes and spring carriers are bolted to the side frames. The depot loco number is painted on, and there is a manufacturer's plate. Here is a close-up of the manufacturer's plate, and an MOD notice telling you where the loco can be used. And there is a simple step to climb into the driving compartment through the cutout in the side frame. As we climb in, you pass the brake handle and the klaxon horn. Then we look onto the controls. There is a bi-directional headlamp switch, a key switch, and the throttle which rotates toward the front for forwards and towards the rear for backwards travel. Then as we swing around you see, with the red knob, the master power switch coming out of the heavily constructed and shielded battery junction box. It is like this to ensure no sparks can be emitted. In this box, visible through a viewing window, there is the battery condition gauge. You can see, along with warning placards, the manufacturer's specification plates for the electrical power and control equipment. The plate is from Clayton's, from Hatton in Derbyshire, who at the time were part of the International Combustion Limited Group and who today still manufacture electric locomotives and control equipment. Hold on, before we leave the driver's compartment, we have missed out a couple of controls. Over in the left front corner on the floor, there is the dead man's pedal, and below the battery junction box is the red lever for the on-board sander control. Then as we step out past the brake handle, you can see the headlamp it has a main bulb and a little red bulb to act as a tail light for the loco when traveling in the opposite direction. It, like the controls, is heavily insulated and shielded to prevent sparks from being emitted. As we look down, you can see that the pin-type coupler is bolted to the end frame. As we look down the side frame, the first set of 4 bolts, closest to the rear of the loco, are for the brake pivot. There is a grease nipple accessible through the hole. As we get to the front, you can see the pin-type coupler and the headlamp. The heavy-looking structure atop the frames is the battery box, with its access covers, lifting eyes, and vents visible. Let's take a look at some of the batteries. Oliver will open one of the 4 doors on the battery box for us. They provide access as regular maintenance has to be performed on the batteries to keep them in good condition and prolong their life. We see in the box some of the 52-volt battery cells, all joined together in series, giving the 100 volts required for the DC electric motors. Each axle has its own 25 horsepower motor. Did you notice this thing on each side? Have a guess and let us know in the comments what you think they are. They have removable lids with a keep chain. What goes in here? Fuel? That concludes our look around NG24. I will finish off though with a few pictures of it, showing how good a worker it is down in the country park at some time in 1997, before the full line opened to the public, whilst the track was being laid at Newlands in station. And one final picture of it shunting a very sad-looking O&K 7529 when it was being shunted to the shed in September 2001. 7529, now fully restored and operational, will be the subject of an upcoming video. Please think about subscribing to the channel to ensure you don't miss it. If you have enjoyed this video, please check the thumbs up, like button. Thanks from the GVLR. All your likes help the channel grow. That concludes this stockbook series video.